Hi, I'm Amanda Brinkman from Deluxe and the Small Business Revolution.
Hi, I'm Benjamin Golly with Today's Beauty Supply, Alton, Illinois.
Season 3! Oh my gosh. Okay, so I have to say, one of my favorite parts about Season 3 was getting to work with you. You are such a warm and kind soul. I mean, from the moment we met you, we knew you were destined to be on the show.
Well, thank you. I appreciate hearing that from you. And plus, I know it's very sincere.
Well, you do so much for the community beyond just providing an incredible service, an incredible store, an experience. And Alton is lucky to have you.
Well, Alton is very lucky to have you guys come and choose us so we could tell our story and get a chance for the world to see that small towns all across America, we all are trying to do our best to make our communities better.
Well, speaking of making communities better, I really appreciate that you really walked alongside us in the process of trying to have some of the difficult conversations that Alton really needed to have. We found that there was some self-segregation happening. There's different kinds of neighborhoods, and I was really proud of how we all kind of didn't shy away from that part of the storytelling of Alton, but really had those difficult conversations and talked about how do we move forward from here? How do we make sure everyone has a seat at the table? How do we reach out and think about inclusivity and diversity in a more progressive and intentional way?
Right. Well, you guys did it very caring. You made it very palatable because it is a difficult conversation, and a lot of people kind of move away from those conversations which are needed in this day and this time. And so it has made a difference. It hasn't changed everything in its totality, but it has started that journey, which is a long journey, which is not just in Alton, it's across our entire country. And so we're still hopeful, and we will remain hopeful because we have no choice but to continue having these conversations, build relationships one at a time, find great allies to help us move forward as a community and as a country.
Well, I think when it comes to all inclusivity, I think storytelling is such a powerful tool towards changing hearts and minds. When you hear someone's story, when you get to know someone personally, you understand what it's like to be them, or at least you understand more about what it's like to be them. And then you start to love a soul and want to connect with another person and not think about the things that you previously thought of something that separated you. And I think you just did such a beautiful job of helping us again navigate how to have those initial discussions. And you're right, there's no way we could have solved all of that, first of all, as an outside entity, and two, in 6 short months. These are century-old issues that we're talking about. And I think for me, I personally learned that there is no hope for having one conversation and suddenly someone sees something different and their biases are gone and they suddenly behave differently. But each step forward is in the right direction.
Right, it is. And you guys gave us that light, and it wasn't something that you had to do, but you chose to do it. And I commend you and Deluxe, the company, willing to take that risk, because sometimes it's a risk when you step out and you speak on things that could be considered controversial. You guys didn't shy away from that. And I will forever be grateful that the story was told, because in so many cases, it's not.
Well, thank you for saying that. Anyway, I just loved season 3, and I just loved all the different things that we addressed, and the fact that I again just personally learned so much from you and from the process and from the community. So thank you for being kind of our Sherpa throughout all of that. And now I gotta say, speaking of the Church of Benjamin Golly, let's talk about that closing ceremony speech in episode 8. I mean, people talk about that all the time, about just the power of your words, the power of your delivery, and just the timeliness of that message, not just in Alton, but in our country right now. So, I mean, did you just feel, was that from above, or where did those words come from?
Well, I believe that we're all a vessel, and if we take time to be quiet and listen, that words will come from within. That actually came to me at 3 o'clock in the morning at my kitchen table. And I was trying, because when you asked me to speak, it was kind of why? And so I didn't know why at first until I got still. And then I was inspired. And those are the words that came, let's talk about Benjamin, one of our founding fathers, because our names are similar. And it kind of came from there to where love, is like electricity. Electricity flows, you can't see it, but it changed and revolutionized the world. And I believe that love has that same energy. And if we have love for everyone like we have love for our family and our friends, then a lot of those isms would just instantly disappear.
I think you're right. If everyone led with love in every interaction, if that was your first instinct, is to love upon meeting anyone, the world would be just such a different place.
Yeah.
So.
We had a great speaker here that happens to be blind, and I had a chance to have a conversation with him, and I said, you have vision even if you don't have sight, and if everyone could lose their vision for a moment and truly just lose their sight for a moment and have that vision to where now you don't see to have those biases and things like that, and you truly can see the world in a different way.
Oh, beautiful words. See what I mean? You're such an inspired man. You have inspired so many through your story and the work that you're doing in Alton and through this program. So just so blessed to know you. If you haven't seen the Today's Beauty Supply episode from season 3 or episode 8, where Benjamin brings the house down with his powerful words, please catch up on past seasons. You can catch them on Hulu, Prime Video, and on smallbusinessrevolution.org.